1,295. In case you wonder what that number is, it represents the number of illegal migrants who entered the country yesterday alone. At this point, as we say, we don't really have an effective border. The doors are open, people can come here on a dinghy and put their hands up and say, I am what I say I am, you have to believe me, and give me Domino's pizzas and free hotels and everything else. Now, this was the biggest wave that we had, and it wasn't just Dover, there are other parts of Kent as well. We had another group, 43 migrants, illegal migrants, that were captured and brought in by our new taxi service, RNLI. This was another footage that we had from that day. Now, massive credit to Active Patriot and many others, independent ones who are there to report these issues, because the mainstream media they're not talking about it. They, at best, they put the number on the headline saying, "Wow, yeah, about 1,000 people have entered the country." Simon Jones from the mainstream media sometimes posts a picture from one angle. But people like Active Patriot and the others who actually try to be there, now they've been under attack as well. Now, one of the footage that we have discovered is absolutely fascinating, because the Kent police who went there, so you had the RNLI, then you had Border Force preparing the transportation and everything else with the help of Serco. Then the Kent police were there, obviously detained them, essentially put them there. And this was the moment when, thank God for independent reporting, when the Kent police essentially exposed them and said, if any of you are Albanian, hands up. Yeah, the majority of their hands went up. The majority were Albanian, NATO member state, who is currently a peaceful country. Allegedly, apparently, at this point. Not really sure how to address this problem, because when you have Serco and the others still working with a number of hotels, we have one of the best hotels in Rockingham Forest, one of the best Westerns, who has now been completely occupied by the illegal migrants and the contractors. And they have told and local people and many residents who were organizing their weddings, they've cancelled weddings and all the other events that they had for August and September and onwards, because they bought out the whole hotel for the illegal migrants. People's lives are being disrupted so that Serco could go out there and make a lot of money. Millions of pounds of taxpayers' money is being spent on Serco. Now, this is in the name of efficiency, to make sure that the migrants don't really just run around the country illegally, but they are actually stopped and controlled. Well, why do you have to control instead of just not allowing them to come in? I mean, I don't understand what's going on here. We don't really have this problem in most countries. Even in America, the problem with the Mexican border, they still try their best to deport them. And, of course, in America, because it's a big land, a lot of them just go and get lost in the system anyway, but they don't really get entitled to receiving benefits or anything else. Whereas here, from day one, we give them the free Domino's pizzas and everything else, and cash and all the other support. And then, obviously, in terms of the housing, while many of our own people, including veterans, who are still on the waiting list and are sleeping in the streets of the United Kingdom. I don't know what's going on exactly, but it is what it is. It makes you think, makes you question a lot of things. But we're going to come back in half an hour. I'm going to come back, every half an hour, we're going to come to you guys with many updates. The next video is going to be about Anthony Fauci, who has officially resigned or resigning. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.